welcome to the Jeff Mayweather radio show. My name is Jody Cohn, and I'm joined, as always, by Jeff Mayweather, and also we have Carla Jays joining us right now. Jeff, welcome. How you doing tonight? And Carla?
I'm good.
Doing great. How's it going?
Great. Well, we have our first guest here already. We're not going to waste any time joking around or talking. We're going to bring him right on. We are honored to be joined by one of the greatest boxers of all time, the Eastern Assassin, multiple-time world champion, IBF champion, WBC champion, ring champion. Just totally honored to have him on the show, Larry Holmes. Larry, welcome to the show, sir.
Hey, thanks. How you doing, Jeff?
Good. How you doing?
All right, great.
We had a little confusion, so thanks so much for joining us late there on the East Coast, Larry, especially during the debates. I know you were watching that, so appreciate you taking some time with us.
That's all right, Jody. Anytime, no problem.
All right. Now, Jeff, first before we get into Larry, let's get your thoughts. I know you're a big fan of Larry's. We've spoke before about who are some of those underrated fighters and that kind of thing, and you've always spoke highly of him. So give us your opinions on Larry as a fighter and what you thought about him.
Well, I think that Larry was a fighter that never got his just dues. I thought that he was probably he's definitely one of the top five fighters in top five heavyweights in the history of boxing. I honestly believe, and I think that the problem with Larry is that he came right after Muhammad Ali was one thing, and then the other thing was that he actually defeated Ali, and he defeated him in a merciful way, and people kind of hated him for that as well.
Yeah, Larry, when you were here at the WBC convention a couple weeks ago, I got a chance to ask you about that. I asked you if you thought that, it seems like now you disagree with me, but you get so much credit for being so underrated. It almost seems like, to me, like you're actually finally getting the credit you deserve, but you disagree with me. So explain me a little bit, as far as what you think, how people look at you now.
Well, people look at me as a champion, that those who remember me, those who followed my boxing career, they look at me as one of the great fighters. And I say one of them because, you know what, I never get into who was the greatest fighter of all time. I never get into that because you have so many great fighters with the Joe Louis, the Rocky Marcianos, the Dempseys, and the Muhammad Ali's, and the Joe Frazier's. And there's so many of them, so I never try to put myself anywhere. But when someone asks me who you think was the greatest fighter of all time, I say me, of course, But again, I don't really, I'd really just be saying that because I think highly of myself and what I did. But all the guys that I just mentioned, man, to me is some of the great fighters, and I don't want to take anything away from what they did, because anybody who steps in that ring and throwing punches and taking punches, they're great to me, because boxing is not an easy sport to do.
Jeff had mentioned, your fight with Ali there. Do you think, even though, it's boxing, you have to win the fight, and like you said, you actually did it in a merciful way, but do you think by so thoroughly dominating someone that to so many people was, the greatest ever, do you think that kind of ultimately hurt the way people viewed you as a fighter?
Well, it's kind of hard to go up against a legend. Muhammad Ali was a legend. He was a people's champion. And, I know I was in a no-win situation. I win, they say, the old man, he's washed up. If I lose, they say, well, I never had it from the beginning. So, I took the easy way out. I go on and beat him anyway and let people form their own opinion. But, he was a great man, and I did what I had to do, just like he did what he had to do when he was fighting. So, it's no hard feelings. The man is one of the great fighters, as I said. I loved him, and I thank him for the opportunity. And I'm glad that I didn't hurt him, and I'm glad he didn't hurt me.
Now, Jeff, what were your thoughts at the time on the fight? I know you were active at the time, so what were your thoughts on it?
When I actually watched the fight, to be honest, I thought, what Larry did was actually, commendable, because, it was almost like he knew that, that Ali didn't have it, and rather than punish Ali, he actually asked the ref to please come and stop him. you know. And so, I mean, if anything, you know, I mean, you got to have respect for, you know, because, I mean, obviously he even showed respect even in challenging the man, as opposed to, you know, like a lot of fighters, I mean, you know, they would go ahead and punish him, you know, and Larry didn't do that.
Hey, Jeff, you know how it is. You know, you got a guy surrender. You got a guy hurt. You don't want to kill nobody. We're not mercenaries. We just want to try to make a living and make some money. We don't want to kill nobody. We don't want to hurt nobody. And we don't want to get hurt ourselves. So we go out there and we do what we have to do. We say our prayers. I did anyway. God, don't let me hurt this man, and don't let this man hurt me. Let us have a good fight, and let us both be able to get out of here safe and sound and enjoy our victory or our loss. That's what I did, and that's what I think a lot of fighters do, because we always pray. I see all the fighters that I ever see always say that little prayer, and that's what I think gets us out of that trouble that we go in. God helps us out.
Yeah, exactly. Now, one of the greatest moments at the WBC gathering was when you sat down next to Mike Tyson and interviewed him, and you know, you'd asked him about, you know, you said, you know, why'd you have to beat me so bad? And he commented, because you did it to Muhammad Ali. You know, a lot of people draw parallels to that, but the difference, I think, was that was Ali at the very, very end of his career. But, you know, you never captured a title again, but you, even after the Tyson loss, you had, you know, quite a good run after that. Only lost a couple times to, you know, the top guys, Holyfield and McCall, you know, people like that. So do you think that's a fair comparison, that people make the parallel? And what did you think about Tyson and that kind of thing?
Well, I tell you what, man, they're going to always do that. They're always going to say what they would do, what I should have done, what I couldn't do, what I could have done. I don't really care, man. You know, I'm just happy that I got out of the game healthy. I'm happy that I got the opportunity to be with them guys. I'm even more happier that I got to see Mike Tyson, get the chance to interview Mike Tyson, and to meet all the champions that were there again, because them guys, we all coming together, and we all do the same thing. And I'm sure that it's always good to see these guys, man. I mean, I'm like, I'm more of a fan than anybody, probably, because I ask everybody for an autograph. I send my wife out with the gloves, and we get the autographs and stuff like that. And I come back, I'm home, and I brag about it. I got a TV show of what the heck they're thinking. I put it on my TV show, and I show everybody the gloves and stuff I got, the people I meet. I put the pictures on that we take. And, you know, and that's really what it's all about, man. You know, we enjoy each other, man, and because, I mean, boxing is so hard, and fighters seem like it's a lonely job, you know, because everybody seems like they just want to be around you because you're the champ, be around you because you got some money, and they want to get some of that out of you. And it's great to see the guys, man, and I love it. I hope we can continue to do it.
Well, the one thing, you know, that I noticed, and I kind of want to ask you, because how you felt you were portrayed, because, you know, everybody, or I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people said, you know, oh, was Larry Holmes, was he mean, and that kind of thing. Everybody, and I tell them, you were absolutely the life of the party there. Of all the guys there, and they were all great, but you were the one that was joking, you were singing. I mean, you were having a great time, and you and Hearns and Fennick, I think, were the ones that were most successful to everybody as far as being there from the beginning to the end. So do you feel that, you know, going back, I know there's problems with the Cooney fight and that kind of thing, do you feel that perhaps the media portrayed you in a negative light and that gave so many people a false, you know, impression of the way you were?
Well, you know, I wasn't the one that they really wanted to pay too much attention to. You got to remember now, after Muhammad Ali left, they had guys like Tommy Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, you know. You had all the, you know, like Mayweather's out there, you know what I'm saying? We all was out there, man. And so many of us. So, you know, they didn't know who to pick, so they were just dealing with everybody. So I don't care, man. I never worried about that. You know, I look at my boxing gloves every now and then and see the names on them, and I go back in memory. Some of them, I got a lot of tapes on a lot of fighters that I watch, and we talk about them, and I have them in my club. And, you know, that's what it's all about. I don't really care about how the people remember me. I just want to live happy ever after. That's why I stay in this little town called Easton, Pennsylvania, because it's small, 26,000 people. I can walk down the street and have my fun And if I want to get drunk, I go to my club and get drunk, and then I finish and come home. So it's really nice, man, to do that. And of course, we do need a break because we're human beings too, you know.
What did you think of, this is actually for you and Jeff, we talked a little about this last week with Jeff, but, you know, as far as a pension fund, I mean, obviously there's such a need for it. You know, a lot of fighters, obviously, you know, haven't been able to be successful after the sport. So it's something, you know, I know they've tried to start before, but it's something you think that they can carry on at this point and, you know, and explain the need a little bit for it.
Well, I think they can go on. I think, but you need somebody that's going to be honest and fair and put the money where it's supposed to be and let the money make some interest so that you can continue to do that pension plan instead of paying the WBC a whole lot of money and the promoters a whole lot of money. Let them pay a part of that pension too. Don't just take it from the fighters that fight the fight. Take it from the promoters that promote the fight. Take it from them because they get the television and they get the money too. It's a lot of money, and the pension plan can be decent. And I don't know how much money they can give because I'm not really into the finances that way. But I think it would be a little bit of something that's better than a lot of nothing. That's the way I see it. I think this is a good idea for the pension to come up. It's too late for me now. Old, I can't. I'm 63 years old in a couple of weeks, so I won't be able to get a pension. If I do, it'll be $2, and then the pension will end. But it's okay for the young guys that are coming out.
Jeff, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, basically, you know, I shared my thoughts before. I said the one thing about the pension thing, there's been, you know, various organizations trying to, you know, to create a pension plan, but a lot of them was just scams. There's a lot of them that a group of people that actually just took money that was being, you know, given to them and did what they wanted to do with it, you know. But like I said, the other thing is that it's also very hard to, you know, to pinpoint, you know, a way of giving, you know, boxers a pension because, like I said, I mean, what about the guy who comes out the Olympics or something, is probably a great fighter and probably has a great, bright future, and everybody thinks that, and he goes out there and gets knocked into a coma. You know, I mean, do you take care of him? And then you have other guys that have, you know, long, illustrious careers, and, you know, and they make tons of money, and sometimes they go broke, you know. And so, I mean, there's got to be some type of way of mandating what is the specifications for even getting anything from the pension. I mean, do you have to be a champion? Do you have to be, you know, a certain number of fights? I mean, something has to be mandated because there's really no ground rules to as where and who you can help, you know, because just because a fighter has a name doesn't necessarily he need to be helped. You know, when you have a guy that, you know, that's actually poor, that's probably never going to do anything and becomes an opponent, you know, I mean, do you take care of him the same way you would take care of a world champion? So, I mean, it's just so difficult to specify, you know, where the money goes to and who gets it. And that's
well, you know what I think should happen on a lot of this stuff. You know, they have a policy, they have an insurance policy, and you know, the more money you pay into that insurance policy, then the more money you can grab out of it if something like that happens. But you know, you're always allowed to, when you get busted or whatever, you can always sell some of that insurance policy back to the company, and you'll still be able to eat. But I think all fighters should, and I had insurance on myself when I was fighting, and you know, but they didn't really give me the insurance that I really wanted because I was into a fight game, a dangerous game. But I think there should be something put together as far as fighters so that he can get some insurance. I think that would help. But again, I'm just talking, and the know-it-all, the bees got to do this. I wouldn't know how to start it or do it. I just know how to try to take care of myself like I'm doing now, you know, in my family. That's all I do.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think they should do with, like, fighters, you know, I won't mention any names, but, you know, obviously the ones that were very, very successful, but they weren't able to manage it correctly.
Do they get the same kind of, the pension fund where they're drawing money basically when they shouldn't need it? Have they been able to manage their money correctly? I mean, do they get the same kind of, what do you do with folks like that?
Well, because they put so much money in, you're allowed to draw down on what dollars that you get, and I think that will, be efficient. If they need a little bit more, so what? They get what they're supposed to get. That's it. What they put in. You have to put money into the pension in order to collect some money out, and that's what you have to. That's what you have to do if you want to regulate this thing and make this thing organized. Because I did it. What back in the day it was called defined pension plan that I started for myself and my company. That when they retire to be a certain age, they be able to draw down on some of that money. And a lot of them did. A lot of them drove down on them. Sometimes some of the pensions that I paid off had over $80,000, $90,000, $100,000. I'm sure the football players got the same thing.
Chris is also with me, but he's
Hey, Elliot,
he's gonna be on the line later.
Elliot.
Okay. Hey.
All right. So sorry about that. Larry, the other thing I'd like to get you about, what are your thoughts on the heavyweight, boxing in general right now? Obviously, Jeff's nephew Floyd is the biggest star. You got him and Manny Pacquiao, but particularly in America, it seems like the most important thing is the heavyweight scene, and since really since Mike Tyson, it's really been kind of dormant here in the States. Heidi Klitschko's on top for so long, and they're not really concerned. It seems like with putting the best face forward in America here. So what are your thoughts on the heavyweight division and boxing in general and the future of it?
Well, I think boxing needs the heavyweight division because a lot of people turn that TV on when it comes down to the heavyweight. And the only thing now is keeping boxing, I think, standing is the one they talk about, Mayweather and Pacquiao. That's all the people talk about. That's the ones they want to see. Now, I don't know how Mayweather said that he wants $75 million. Pacquiao say he wants $75 million. If you give me $8 million, I'd take that. Today. But the money's out there, so they need to get paid, and I think they should get paid. I don't think they should fight over that kind of money. I think they need to come to the agreement, and whatever left after that, you split it up again, like Jerry Cooney and I did. It was parity with Jerry Cooney, but the money was like $10 million apiece. But after everybody chipped in and got their share of the dollars, what Jerry and I did, we split the rest. And if they just come to that agreement, because a little bit of something is better than a lot of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
How did that work with? So did you and Cooney get along pretty well? I mean, I know there were some issues, like I mentioned earlier. Some issues where you felt that there was a little, maybe some racial.
There's always going to be some issues out there between two fighters, especially when you got managers and trainers, and especially when you're black and you're white. There's always somebody going to try to put something into it to make a fight worth more. Like Don King and Dennis Rappaport, they strategized this fight with a racial thing, and when you do that, it takes it out of context. Jerry didn't have anything to do with it. I didn't want nothing to do with it, but we end up being in the middle of all of it because people want to see the black guy beat the white guy and the white guy beat the black guy, and who comes out hurt the black guy and the white guy. That fighted me and Jerry. But Jerry and I are good friends. We're real good friends, and we do a lot of work together even now. And but people are crazy that way. Before that bell rang, when he said shake hands, I said to Jerry, let's have a good fight because it's about you and I, nobody else. You and I are going to take these shots today. The best man will win. But a lot of times you got people that's betting money and wanting certain people to win. They try to make a big thing out of like nothing.
The last thing I have for you, because I know Carla and Elliot have a couple questions before we let you get back to the debates there. But you really early in your career, you got to spar with Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali, Ernie Shavers, and some really good fighters. But the one thing I'd asked you at the convention also was that it seemed like you didn't get the credit you deserved because you weren't quite in that era, even though you fought a lot of those guys. You fought Ernie Shavers, you fought Muhammad Ali, you fought Frazier. You fought a lot of really great fighters there, but it was kind of at the tail end of their career. Do you think? I mean, do you feel that you don't get credit for beating them even though you did because it was the end of their career, or how do you feel about that?
Well, we all was in the same bucket, Those guys 3-4 years older than me and whatnot, at the time, And sometimes the old guy always beat up the younger guy because the younger guy didn't have the experience. So it all depends what way you look at it, Hey, listen, I was just happy to get the opportunity to say I fought one of the greatest fighters of all time, or two of the greatest fighters of all time, or three of the greatest fighters of all time, and I came out victoriously. I came out without getting hurt, and I made a few dollars, and we're still friends, and we're still able to live our life. Ernie Shavers is the guy I should not like because in the 7th round in Las Vegas, he hit me so damn hard I thought lightning struck me. And then I keep telling everybody that I still got the knot inside my head that he hit where he hit me at. So, and he was champion. He's the hardest puncher that I ever fought, and I said I should hate him for that. But he's a sweet guy. He's a lovely guy. I like Ernie a lot. We do a lot of things together, too. And he can never be an enemy of mine. Boxing could never be an enemy of mine because boxing didn't do anything but help me, and it helps a lot of black fighters change their lives, and white fighters.
All right, Carl, I know you got some questions. So I'll let you
Absolutely.
jump in.
I'm chomping at the bit to ask Mr. Holmes a question. Mr. Holmes, how are you doing? This is Carla J.
Carla, I'm doing good. I can't complain.
That's great. Well, I'm listening to all the conversation that's going on, and one of the things that really stands out for me is when you were explaining about the fight with Muhammad Ali, how you all just showed respect to one another, and the way that you actually handled that fight with Ali. Obviously you have integrity about the sport and how you conduct yourself with the sport and during the sport. Also, another thing that stood out regarding Cooney and how you guys had regard for one another and divide and had concern with how money was divided. What are your thoughts on today's fighters? And do you feel that they share the same regard and respect for the sport of boxing?
No, because everybody are mercenaries. You got the mercenaries. They want to kill each other. At least that's the way it looks. And then after the fight, they still want to kill each other. But they should be hugging each other like I was doing with Jerry Cooney. That was the biggest payday that I ever got, $10 million. And Muhammad Ali, listen, he let me be a sparring partner with him for 4 years. I was a sparring partner. He paid me. He showed me how to beat him. And then I got a big check after the fight, Ernie Shavers, I was also his sparring partner. He beat me up a little bit, but I got the chance to beat him up at the end. But while he was beating me up, I got a big check, and that would help me pay my bills. So, I don't have nothing but love for boxing. I don't have nothing but love for them guys, Ernie Shavers, Jerry Cooney, Mike Tyson. That's why I said, Mike Tyson said, Larry, I love you. I said, well, if you love me, why you beat me up then? He started laughing, But, I don't hold that. I don't hold somebody have to win, somebody have to lose. I don't hate Michael Spinks because I thought I won the fight, and they didn't give it to me. Because Michael's a good guy. He did what he had to do. So what? They took the fight, and they won it. But I got paid for it, and that gave me a little more to put on my bank account. I didn't hate Jerry Cooney because he's white. Half of my family is white. My daughter just had a baby yesterday. Last night my daughter had a baby. The baby ain't white. The baby's black. But the only thing I didn't like about it, he didn't have the boxing gloves on. But I got a Chase Marinelli. My daughter has a baby. Last night, his name is Chase Marinelli, all Italian. So, hey, I'm happy. I don't see color. And this is why I stay in this town here, because we don't have a lot of the blacks, a lot of the whites go out with mixed colors, Sometimes you see strange people like Chinese women going out with black guys and black guys going out with Chinese women, it's strange, but that's the way it is here.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Holmes, do you feel like if there was, a little more respect for fighting in today's climate, that, we wouldn't hear about so many fighters, complaining or concerned that they just can't get a fight, and you hear that so often, I can't get a fight. They're trying to do different things for exposure, et cetera, so that they can get a fight. Do you think that today's climate has a little bit to do with that?
Oh, it's the same. It ain't changed. It's about money. It's about politics. And, you just got to keep right on winning. And fighters don't want to fight somebody that can fight. They want to they want to fight people that can't fight and get paid so they can build their record. But if to be a champion, you got to fight everybody and anybody. And you got to go everywhere and anywhere to fight. And you got to take whatever they give you. Like, you think I wanted to fight my first fight and only make $63? And I had to tell people a lie that I made a lot more than that. But $63, and I fought 6 fights and I only made like $700, $800. So those are the things that you go through. You learn to bite your tongue and not say what you want to say, because if you do, they cut you off. You don't get no fight. And that's what I did. I tried to bite my tongue and just go out there and do my thing, and hope and pray that nobody hurts me, and hope and pray that I don't hurt nobody else.
Hey, let me stir the pot here a little bit. I'm sorry. Since we have Jeff Mayweather here with you, Larry, and you mentioned earlier about obviously Floyd and Manny. What are your thoughts on their inability? You mentioned you have to get the fight made and do it. What are your thoughts on whether if they get the fight made or not, and if they don't, what that ultimately would mean for both of them?
I mean, they lose $75 million or whatever they offer them. It means that. I mean, and that ain't nothing to sneeze at, I mean, that's a lot of money. So, those guys should just go ahead and fight, flip a coin. I wouldn't care if he took dope or dog food or whatever you want to do. Take anything he wants, because it's not going to help him in the ring. If you got the ability, if you're taking drugs will last you about 4 or 5 rounds, and they're going to wear off. That's it. If you can sustain yourself, and you don't have to do no drug. I ain't never did no drug. I took a little sugar and a little honey, and I ate it sometime before the fight. They said that'll help me out with my strength. Well, it didn't help me out, not at all. So, taking that stuff, like Lance Armstrong, they talking about he's doping himself. I can't see him doping himself for 26 miles on a bike and marathon or whatever he's doing. It won't last that long. I mean, unless you just take something while he's driving. But, I don't see it, man. These guys should just go ahead, get it over with, make that money, put it in the bank, and hold on to it real tight, because we're in a bad recession right now.
Jeff, what do you think about that?
Well, I think that's true.
Get the money, right, Jeff? Get the money.
I get the money. Yeah, gotta get the money.
I mean, yeah. Elliot, I know you got a couple questions there. Can you want to jump in?
Yeah, Larry Holmes, this is Ali Vasquez. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. I'm all right.
Yeah, I mean, I want to actually celebrate your accomplishments, because they never are mentioned. I consider you one of the most underrated heavyweight champions, although I do have you in my top 10. And I want to start off with how many undefeated fighters that you fought. I mean, a lot of people don't realize you fought 11 times against undefeated champions or going to become champions. Did you know that, Mr. Holmes?
Yeah, I know that. And not only that, when it was the WBA side, I fought like 6 or 7 of their champions and beat them. But, I never wanted to talk about that. I let the people talk about that. And you know what? Nobody even looked at that. And I'm surprised that you've seen that. But, I'm just happy to be able to say that I got out of the ring with my faculties, and I got a few bucks left in my pocket, and I'm happy, I'm home watching the debate, and I hope Mitt Romney loses the election.
And another thing that you actually accomplished was bringing the IBF to light. Before you, the IBF was pretty much, we would like to say like a stepbrother to the other titles, and you actually made that title relevant. Can you, can you comment on that?
Well, I was looking for a different organization, and I was wrong when I did that. And I can say that because I thought the IBF was another way that I can, increase my money, because at that time they wanted me to fight Greg Page for $1.5 million, and they wanted me to fight Marvis Frazier for $3.5 million. So they wanted to say, you fight Greg Page, if you don't, we're going to take your title. And I had to just look at it. It wasn't a hard decision for me to make. Give me the $3.5 million and take the title. But they didn't take the title, but I just give it to them, and I said I'm IBF WBC champion, and I got the $3.5 million. I got the chance to fight Marvis Frazier, and it took like 2 minutes to get it over with. And that was the best payday, one of the best paydays I had.
Right.
But IBF is another way out for a lot of fighters.
Yes, it is. And I have another. Is there any truth to the rumor that later in your career, when you made your comeback, that you actually had some fights wearing contact lenses?
Oh yeah, I did. When I fought Holyfield, I had the detached retina. When I fought Vander Holyfield, I had the detached retina. I got the detached retina training in Miami, and right before the fight with Ray Mercer, I did not get my eye operated or nothing. I went out there and fought Ray Mercer with one eye, and I beat Ray Mercer. I conned him into the tricks that I was doing and beat him and won the decision. And then the fight with Holyfield that I had signed with Holyfield, I didn't want to blow the $10 million purse. So I went into the hospital and got my eye operated on and asked Bob Aaron to see if he could give me more time. He said, yeah, I could give you more time. But when I got my operation, next thing you know, he didn't give me more time. It was like 4 weeks later. And my eye was not ready, really healed to fight Vander Holyfield, but it was kind of hard to turn down $10 million. So I put a contact lens in my eye, and I went out there and I was fighting with Holyfield. I had gotten decent shape, not good shape, but decent shape. And he hit me with a left hook in the third or fourth round, and that contact lens flew out of my eye, and I was not able to see again because it wasn't. I guess I got hit hard or didn't fit good, and I couldn't see it. And I fought Holyfield for 12 rounds with one eye. That I couldn't really see.
Unbelievable.
I know. Carla's got one more for you. I know. Carla, back to you.
Yeah, definitely.
About time. Let a lady in there. Let a lady in there.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Clear the way. No, well, I do have one more question for you. You fought, obviously a lot of notables, like we, just said, from Marciano, Norton, Ali, Cooney, Frazier, of all the notables that you've had an opportunity to fight, which would you say was the highlight or was a highlight of your career?
Ken Norton, June 9th, 1978 at Caesars Palace. That was the highlight of my career. That's when I won the heavyweight championship. And I tell you what, that fight, again, I had pulled the left muscle, my left arm, for 6 days before the fight, and they wanted to call it off. And I said, no, this is my last opportunity to be champion. So if I don't fight this fight, so we iced it down with a guy named Keith Cleveland that lived in Las Vegas. He got a sports medicine shop there. And he iced me down, rub my arm, make sure that, it wouldn't tighten up and stuff like that. But it never healed good. But I got in the ring anyway, and then I said, God, help me. Don't let me go now. And I went out there and I fought with that arm, and I became, the heavyweight champion of the world. That was the most memorable fight I ever had.
Amazing. Jeff, you've been awful quiet here. I know you got some questions for Larry. I know you got to ask him something.
No, it's just a matter. I just have ultimate respect for Larry, and I was, a huge fan of his when he was an active fighter, and just much love and much respect.
And I appreciate it, man. And that's the way I am, man. I give love to all the guys, man, because we are in a game, man. It's a hard game, and we can get hurt in this game. And I never wish anybody bad luck, because when you do that, it comes back on yourself. I just wish that right now that we could be a little bit more there could be a little bit more action on TV instead of everything got to be on paid TV and you can't really see it, So I wish we had get those promoters to start giving us some good action on regular TV.
Well, I want to add one thing there, because you say that. One of my earliest memories was actually, I'm a master of putting my foot in my mouth, so I'm going to do it here again. But my earliest memory of fights was you and Carl Williams fighting, and I was rooting so hard for Carl Williams to win that fight. And I don't even know why, but that's why it goes back to kind of the way I think you're portrayed. And I think it was the underdog thing. Maybe kinds of Americans, we always root for the underdog, and he was supposed to be no competition for you. So when he started off so well,
you know, I remember rooting, and then, you know, it kind of did a 180 when you came back and fought Tyson. You were the ultimate underdog. You know, it kind of came where I was rooting for you to win. So, you know, it's just kind of weird the way, you know, I guess the New York Yankees syndrome, you know, where everybody roots for the underdog. But it was great, you know, those fights on pay-per-view. Yeah.
That's normal. You know what, man? I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, man. I was rooting for Buddy Ryan and Michael Vick, man. But I'm tired of seeing them guys lose. I'm not rooting for them no more. I always root for the other team. Maybe they'll win one, you know. So listen, man. Somebody got to root for somebody, you know. And, you know, whether you know them or not, or like them or not, you know. You got to. I used to root for Hulk Hogan to get beat, but he's one of my best friends.
Never going to happen.
Well, that ain't gonna happen.
So hey, Larry, just before we let you go here, just tell us what you're up to now. I know I listened to your group there, Marmalade, a little earlier. I know you love to sing. You were singing for everybody at the gathering here. So tell us about what you're up to now.
Well, we do have a band. We had a band for over 30 years, and I do that every now and then. You know, I'm booked at some of the casinos around here, and you know, we don't make a lot of money doing it, but you know, I have a lot of fun. And you know, I have my own TV show. It's called What the Heck They Thinking. It's not syndicated yet, but I'm still trying to syndicate. I've been doing it for the last 6 or 7 years. And then, you know, I got my businesses down. I got my nightclub, my restaurant, and stuff like that. And I just have fun and have parties and enjoy my life. But, you know, I'm tired of that, too. You know, I used to have 35 cars. I only got 3. I'm downsizing my mode now. I'm not going to do the things that I used to do. And I just want to try to be happy, man. Enjoy life. Come out there in Las Vegas sometimes, and not too often because I don't want to lose my mind. Because sometimes, you know, I get out there and the party starts. I don't want to stop. So
exactly.
I just want to enjoy my life. That's what I'm doing. And I just got a new grandbaby yesterday.
Yeah, congratulations on that. And you got the Italian and the black gene. There'll definitely be a fighter in the future there, huh?
You got that right. You got that.
What about do you do the social media? There's some Twitters out there. Are any of those really you, just to make sure so we don't promote the wrong one?
That's my Twitter on there. My daughter runs it, you know, Candy.
That's the Larry Holmes 75, is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, that is.
Can't you tell how good looking I am out there? That's got to be me.
Well, you know, there's always some fake ones, so we don't want to send the people the wrong way. Then, I don't know, do you do Facebook or anything like that?
No, I don't do that. I just do the Twitter. That's it, man. I think Facebook and those things, people put too much stuff out there on you. You know, I don't like that. But they use every time I take a picture with somebody, there it is on Facebook.
Well, I think I'm guilty of that. I took a picture of you, definitely several at the convention, and as well as a few weeks ago when we did. Oh, you're still doing the TV thing too, the Wealth TV, right? You're still doing that on occasion?
Yeah, matter of fact, I'll be in California in a month. They got a fight up there. I can't remember the guy, but I'm doing a fight up there with Wealth TV. Yeah. Yep, I'll be in California.
All right. We appreciate it. Who else? Anything else before we go? Anybody?
No, I just wanted to say, Mr. Holmes, it was, you know, you are amazingly humble, and more people in general should take a page out of your book. It was definitely a pleasure speaking with you.
And I thank you guys. I thank you. And you know what? You get more with sugar you do with vinegar. And I don't care how much money you got, how much money you ain't got, you're still human. And I make mistakes. And when I do, I know I did. I apologize. So, hey, thanks, guys, for having me on your show. This is my home number. Don't give it to the public. Anytime you give me a call.
All right. Elliot, anything for you? I know you want to wrap up real quick. Anything?
Yeah. Larry, you know, you've been a very successful person, like years after your retirement. What's your recipe for success and advice that you can give for fighters for, like, when they step out of the game and they can no longer be active fighting?
Keep working at it. Don't give up. Work hard. Hard work ain't easy, but it's fair. And that's what you got to do is stay on top, because if you go to sleep, everything will leave you. So you got to stay with it. Stay with the hard work.
All right, yeah, thanks. Thanks again. It was an honor having you on here, and like I said, I think, you know, over time you're getting more and more credit that you deserve for you know, an incredible career. And I'll let you finish it up and send them off.
Go ahead, Jeff. Send me off, buddy.
No, well, I mean, I already pretty much said what I wanted to say, and that's basically, you know, I have the ultimate respect for you, and you know, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show, and hopefully we can get you back.
Hey, Jeff, that's great, man. Listen, anytime, man. Hey, listen, all the Mayweathers and everybody that I grew up with coming in this game of boxing, hey, it's always been like a family, man. I want to stay that way. So anytime you guys need me, you got me. Okay?
All right. Thanks so much, Larry. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
All right. That was obviously Larry Holmes. That was a true honor for us to have him on the show. Great guy, and you know, like we had said, you know, it just to me it seems like he's getting more respect as time goes on. Jeff, how do you see it? I mean, as far as the boxing circles, do you think people are finally starting to come around him a little bit, or are you still highly underrated?
No, I mean, I think that he's going to get more respect, probably because of the fact that now it's one of those things that he was young at the time. And when you're young, you want everything, you know, he's fighting hard to try to prove himself, and he was fighting so hard to get the respect that he felt that he deserved. But a lot of times, when it comes to boxing, sometimes you don't get no respect until you're 10 years removed from your career. And I think that's the case with him, you know, and that's the case. That was the case even with Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was loved only by his people when he was fighting. And Muhammad Ali finally became loved by everyone because he was hated by so many people as well. But, I mean, once, you know, he took a stand, you know, and things like that, I mean, it became bigger than boxing. And so then he was accepted. He was accepted by everybody that was against the war and, you know, and people that believed in, you know, different things that he believed in. So, I mean, he became loved long after his boxing career was over.
Okay. Well, that's the one thing I think that, you know, for so long, I think so many people think that he's this mean and horrible guy, and then, you know, the more he talks to people and is around people, they realize, wow, that's not the guy he was. And I think, you know, ultimately he will change his opinion because, like I said, you know, when I met him, you know, multiple people came, you know, was he really mean and nasty and that kind of thing, and he's completely opposite. So, you know, I think as time goes by, people realize, you know, that he's not the image that people had of him. But we're going to be joined here by Derrick Gainer in a few minutes. Still wait for him to call on, but we are going to say goodbye. She's got to go do some work. Had a real job there, so Carla J is going to be leaving us. Carla, thanks so much for stopping by, and go ahead and tell the folks so they can follow you and that kind of stuff.
Not a problem at all. It was a pleasure. Great show tonight. And you can follow me on Twitter at @TheRealCarlaJ on Twitter, and also the same on Instagram, and on Facebook it's simply Carla J. And I will talk to you guys later. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Carla.
All righty. You guys take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, Jeff, are you sure you gave Derrick the right number?
Yeah, I said to him yesterday. I just texted the callers, too.
Do what?
I said I just texted him again to call.
Okay. Well, we'll wait for him. Go ahead, Elliot. You say something?
No, I mean, Larry Holmes, I mean, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, he's, you know, one of the greatest to ever do it. You know, just look at his accomplishments, you know, 17 title defenses, 48-0 before he suffered his first defeat. I mean, there's no denying Larry Holmes. You know, the only thing that I can see why he, at the time, he had a chip on his shoulder was maybe because he came in an era where it was a little bit after the Muhammad Ali era and right before the Mike Tyson era. So, you know, it was a weak division like it is now. I kind of compare that era to now, but, I mean, the numbers don't lie. I mean, the guy's one of the all-time greats. I actually have him in my personal heavyweight list. I have him at number 3, right behind Lennox Lewis and Muhammad Ali. I mean, he's that good to me. Probably had the best jab in boxing, if not at least for the heavyweight scope. I mean, there's just no denying Larry Holmes. And that's what I got to say about the Larry Holmes aura.
All right. Well, thanks for your opinion there. We're going to bring on our next guest of the evening. First we had Larry Holmes. Now we're going to bring on a guy that Jeff works with. He knows well. So, Jeff, I'm actually going to let you do the dirty work. Why don't you introduce our next fighter?
The slowest man in boxing. Gainer. My man. What's up?
Hey, how's it going, man? How you doing, man?
Good, good.
All right, well, thanks for joining us. Derrick, appreciate you taking the time. I know you don't get out there a lot, so it's great to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
All right, so the last couple of weeks we kept talking to Jeff. He's back and forth to Florida, and he's not going to Florida. So explain to us your last fight and the whole drama there and how that ended up turning out.
Well, I had a fight. Yeah, I did have a fight a couple of weeks ago. The fight was originally scheduled for August 25th. And I had a problem with my opponent. He had an injury. So it was postponed and pushed back to the 29th. What I'm learning, man, about doing the promotional side of boxing is that stuff happens all the time behind the scenes that people actually don't never see and never hear about. So I'm just getting a taste of that part of boxing.
How do you like the promotion? It seems like every fighter's getting into that. So is it a big pain in the ass, or do you enjoy it? Or
I like it, but it's a lot of work. You have to build up a team, man, and that's what I'm working on, building up a team to take a lot of pressure off me because it's kind of difficult, worrying about who's doing what, and then you still got to train and prepare for a fight. So there's a lot to it, man. It's not an easy task, but I think at the end it's worth it. The reward is there, and I was able to go in and get the job done, so, everything worked out for me.
So you ended up ultimately, it's kind of strange, but I know you had so many problems with the opponent's thing, but ultimately you fought a guy who was making his debut, huh? How was that?
No, his record was actually a little bit different than that. It was 18-3. It wasn't his debut. Most of his fights were he's from the Dominican Republic, so most of his fights was over there, and I don't know how. He was 18-3 so I don't know how that came out. I actually saw that on BoxRec. Yeah, but it's okay.
What were you gonna say, Jeff?
I said no, it's okay. I mean, the guy, it was what it was. I got a good 5 rounds out of the fight. I was able to get the guy out of there, and I landed back on my feet. And now I'm looking forward to fighting in December.
All right. So now you came back. You've only had a handful of fights in the last few years. Jeff, right. I actually want to ask you. You just started working with them. Considering his inactivity and fighting later in his career, what do you think are his strengths at this point, and what he still has to offer?
I think the one thing that I found out when I first started working with Derrick was the fact that, he still has his speed. Tremendous speed. And, actually now he's a little bigger and he's sitting down on his punches more, so now he's even a better puncher. And I think that, a lot of times in boxing, sometime later you mature. And I think that, and that's the case with him now. I think that he's a mature fighter, a smart guy, and, and now he's going to make the most of, of this last opportunity.
All right. What do you still hope to accomplish, Derrick? Like I said, you've only had a handful of fights in the last few years. Do you still have aspirations for pursuing a title and think you have that kind of ability?
Oh, yeah, most definitely, man. The hunger had went away a couple of years ago, and I just, pretty much wasn't, my desire, my drive wasn't there, But, I'm most definitely motivated. I dropped from 190 pounds all the way down to 140, to make sure that I am really prepared to fight. My focus, my mind, my spirit, everything is 100% on boxing. I realize that the clock is ticking for me, and I don't have time, to waste. So that's why, I did the fight on the 29th, and I'm fighting December 6th here in Pensacola. So I'm not wasting time. I'm staying active, and I feel great, man. It's been an honor and a pleasure to work with Jeff, and I'm learning a lot. He's not as fast as me, but, he got good hands. And it's really a pleasure, man. I'm serious. It's really a pleasure, man, to work with him.
So you said he's not as fast as you. So how did the gym session go with him?
Man, the gym, I asked him for a combination. I asked him to give me 5 hooks. I'm throwing 6 hooks. He can barely keep up with 4. You know what I'm saying? So my hands is just so much faster than Jeff's. He tries all his little tricks, try to hit me with the mitts, but it just don't work. You know, I don't know if he thought I was going to slow down because I got a little older, but the hand speed and everything is still there. It's not going to happen. So just, you know, just when you talk to him, let Jeff know that he needs to speed his hands up a little bit. Oh, I forgot he was on the air. My bad. I forgot.
Well, hey, Joe, you already know you get the doom, like everyone else. No one gets away from the doom.
Yeah, but nah, man, it's really good.
I think he might be right, Joe. I think you're slowing down because I've seen some other guys, you know, kind of starting to get the better of you. The doom system's not quite as effective as it might have once been.
Yeah, I mean, I just know he can't keep up with these hands over here. I don't know about anybody else, but I know these hands that's over here in Florida. These hands are amazing, you know. So I just, you know, my thing is just being mentally prepared, and I know my speed and my power, all that stuff is there. You know, sometimes you get away from doing what you love, and then you get it. Some people don't get the opportunity to go back and make it right or do it and come back and do it better. But I thank God that I have the opportunity to come back and do it. I've never been in no real wars. I've never really been banged on and beat on. So I'm still there. My body's fresh. I feel great, and it's just, you know, I know it's probably cliche. The old fighters when they come back they say the same thing, but I truly really feel great. And I never really, I don't drink, I don't do anything crazy, so I feel good. This is my time, you know, and I'll make the best of it.
Right. So you had mentioned before that, you know, you had kind of lost the motivation, that kind of thing to fight. You know, you fought 4 times since 2005, and you lost to Chris John. What specifically, why did you lose the drive? And when you decided to come back, you know, this was your first fight in 2 years, when you first started getting in there, were you surprised that you still had the skills, or how did that go when you first started, you know, seriously boxing training? What did you think of what you still had left?
Well, sometimes, man, your environment can contaminate you, and you don't like what you're around and what's going on. So I didn't like my environment, and so I had to remove myself from my environment, and I did that. You know, the true story is what really gave me the drive and the motivation to actually fight is when I watched the Ortiz and Mayweather fight. To be very honest with you, I watched that fight, and I knew at that moment that I was coming back. I knew at that moment that I was going to be world champ again. I knew at that moment that I was going to dedicate my life back to the sport that I love and that I miss. I knew that I was going to get from 190 back down to 135. You know, I'm at 40 now. I'm going to 35. I knew that I was going to be able to do that. So I reached out to Jeff, and he was like, yeah, man, most definitely. So I knew at that moment, man, that I was going to be coming back and being motivated to do it. So, you know, it was me sitting around watching, running my restaurant, eating wings, getting fat, and watching Mayweather. I'm serious, watching the Mayweather-Ortiz fight. I knew at that moment that I was coming back out of retirement and fighting and going hard at everybody that's at 135.
So is that, you know, watching Ortiz and Mayweather fight, is that what made you want to get with Jeff, or how did the whole you know, starting to work with him thing come about?
No, that just motivated me to fight. I knew. Me and Jeff, we've been friends and communicated for years, way back in the day, before I became champion, before any of that. But I watched Jeff, and I know how Jeff is by our communication and friendship. He's always been laid back, and I watched him with the mitts. I watched him, and I know he know the game. So I'm a boxer. His technique is boxing. So I knew that it would be a fit for me. At the beginning, I was kind of a little, you know, I didn't know. But once I got to Vegas, and after my first day working with him, I started looking for an apartment, you know, because I knew that's where I want to be. You know, I knew that that's where I wanted to, you know, get my career and get everything back going.
Last question here for me before I turn over to Elliot is he had a couple questions for you. But
yeah.
How many times, you know, so you've known Jeff for a long time, but the texting thing has only been a few years. So how many times during an average session you work with Jeff you think he texts?
He texts on the phone?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? I don't know. I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. You know what? Now I think about that. You're right. He is on that phone a lot. You're right, man. I never even thought about that.
Life when it was.
Oh my God.
That was the best day of his life when it was texting unlimited.
Hold on for a second. Let me tell you something. Now that you say that, he came down here for my fight in August. We were driving, and then it dawned on me. I said, wait a minute. He got a text every second. I said, yo, man, I think I even said to him, you better be glad you got unlimited, because I've never in my life seen someone get so many text messages, man.
We were
absolutely
on
right.
Larry Holmes earlier, and his phone keeps making this frog or duck sound because he gets text nonstop.
Every second.
On the Ultimate Fighter, he's a coach under Roy Nelson, and they can't even film, or they can't even show him on camera because all he did was text the entire time.
That's true. You're right. You're absolutely right.
And you know it's true because he's not even defending himself. He knows it's true.
Oh no, I've never in my life seen anyone get that many text messages at one time. And I think we had a conversation about it. It's unbelievable, man.
When I first started with him, that's the only thing I ever did. Always the final question was, how many times does Jeff text during a session with you? Because that's his thing.
Now I must say it was a lot, but not as much as when we were driving around town. He probably got a million texts within 22 hours.
Jeff, do you want to defend yourself, or are you just going to take it?
He can't. He's an honest man. He can't.
It's true because my phone would die when we would go places because I got so many texts.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I said, that had to have been the best day in your life, Jeff, was when they had the unlimited texting plans, you know.
Yes, yes. When they charged, back in the day we had the 2-ways, and then some of them on some plans they charged per 2-way text or whatever it was. Yeah. Jeff, you was in toe up. That's all I can say.
He's like the big guy going to the buffet. You know, it's the same thing with Jeff when he ordered the texting plan. They're like, oh no, not you.
You're right.
All right, Eliud. Sorry about that, Eliud. I know you had a couple questions for Derrick.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, Derrick, how you doing? This is Eliud.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, man?
Good, thank you. Yeah, I want to take you back to memory lane a little bit. You being from Pensacola, you're great friends with Roy Jones Jr. How did you guys meet up as when you guys were young?
I actually met him in '84. He had just won the Olympic Nationals, and I met him then, and we came up as friends, and then as I started fighting, he became my manager and my promoter.
Yeah, and a lot of fights that he was main eventing, you was on the undercards, and I noticed that he was always out there watching you fight and making sure that he saw your fight, and then went back to the dressing room. What did that mean to you as a friend in first, and a promoter second?
It felt great. I think he used that to help him stay relaxed and to see exactly our styles so similar to each other. He did that to help him see what was going on with me and what moves I made also in the ring. But it was a great feeling, man. Once I started fighting closer to, his fight, of course he couldn't do it as much, but at the beginning of everything, he was able to do that. And it was a great feeling and a great honor, man, to do that. And I had a great time, actually fighting and being in the gym working out with him. I owe him a lot for giving me the opportunity to do what I do.
Yeah, and then how did it feel to finally, have that belt around your waist back in 2000 when you defeated Freddie Norwood? I mean, not only did you become a world champion, but you also took away Norwood's O. How'd that feel?
It felt great, man. It was an unbelievable night for me. I kind of hate the way the fight turned, but it was a great feeling. I enjoyed it. That's what you live for as a fighter. I had a lot of some other fights that I missed the opportunity to do that, to become world champion, but that particular night was a magic night for me. I was able to beat Norwood, who was an undefeated fighter. He was very tough. To be honest with you, he didn't have to fight dirty. He was automatically tough and strong. But was a great night for me, man. I miss it. That's why I'm doing what I do. That's why I'm training. That's why, you know, I'm taking trips to Vegas to work with Jeff so I can get back to that point, because I miss it, to be very honest with you.
And how cool was it to be featured in a video game in Knockout Kings? I played your character a few times.
Yeah, yeah. They contacted me and asked me to do it, and of course, you know, that's something that, you know, you can't turn that down. You know, having an opportunity to be on a video game, man, it's unreal. I can't play the game. I actually matched myself up against Kevin Kelly, and what happened to me in the first fight is what happened to me on the game, so I kind of tore the game up. You know, but you know, I enjoy the game. I actually went out and bought both games to frame them and have them put up, you know, for my kids, so they'll have it later on down the line. But it was a great honor, man.
So yeah, I'll get back to Elliot in a second. But which one kind of tells you made it more, being featured in a video game or the world title?
The world title, man. You can't. The world title, man. I mean, it's nothing. It's nothing like that. I mean, nothing like that. What, you know, just the fact that, you know, you go places and people refer to you as world champion. You know, it's unbelievable. You know, it's a great feeling, and I'm being honest, man. I miss that. You know, and I'm working my butt off to get back to that point. And it's not going to be easy, but I'm most definitely here to do it.
Right. Going back for just a moment, I want to ask you, you know, obviously, you know, we talked about Roy Jones there for a moment. But what are your thoughts as far as him now and, you know, in his career? You know, he's still determined to go forward. What are your thoughts of what he's doing now? And you know, I mean, obviously you support him, but do you agree with what he's doing? Do you wish he'd hang it up, or do you think he's still got it in him somewhere?
Well, I just pray that he's healthy and that, you know, he's okay. But if you know, it's kind of difficult to tell someone to not go to work. You know, that's the way he's going to make his money. But I realize that we are in a competitive sport and that the fans basically pay us. I would, if he would continue to fight, I would just hope that he would get in great shape and be in shape and be prepared to fight for 12 rounds, or 20 rounds, I should say. If he does that, then I think he'll be fine. But if he's not mentally prepared and physically prepared, then I don't think he should fight. But if he's getting himself in shape and he's just losing, you know, I think that's, I look at it a little bit different. But once you started to get, you know, KO like he has been in the last few years, I think he should really look at what's going on. Honestly, and I said this to Jeff, and I know Jeff can hear this. I said to him, I said, man, we're cool enough that if I'm not cutting it, tell me I need to sit my butt down. I didn't say butt, but tell me I need to sit down. I know he remembered the conversation because, you know, at the end of the day, I have a little baby here. I got 2 little kids here, 2 more little kids here. At the end of the day, when I come home, I want them to be able to look at me and I'll be able to talk to them and everything be okay. I want to be able to have the same conversation with you and them, you know, 10 years from now, and I sound okay and I'm okay. Boxing is a brutal sport, and boxing is what I do. It's not who I am. I will not stay in this game and embarrass myself ever again, or not be in shape going to a fight, you know, not prepared. It's not going to happen with me. I can only speak for myself. I'm not suggesting that Roy's doing that, but what I am saying is that at the end of the day, I want to be clear on where I'm going. I'm putting my shoes on right. I want to make sure that I'm okay. So if I'm getting flattened and knocked out and beat and banged on, I told Jeff and I told my other people here, tell me to sit down somewhere. Don't even train me.
Well,
you know, stay away.
Well, I know Jeff, and I know he will do that. You know, I won't mention anything, but I know he's told fighters that in the past, and I told him I wanted to fight once, and he told me real quickly to sit down. So I know he's not afraid to do it.
Yeah.
But the one thing about Jeff, you know, Jeff, you do have experience in, I guess now a former world champion, but you know, having guys that are you know, on the back end of 30 or 40 years old with Celestino Caballero, obviously. So So, working forward with Derrick here, what are the differences and what are the things with him that you want to work on as opposed to, maybe an up-and-coming fighter?
Are you asking me?
Yes, you. You don't want to end up like Jeff, Derrick. That's the thing. Don't end up like Jeff.
No. I mean, the one thing is that basically, if, just like Derrick said, he did. We sit down and we talk, and that's one thing that he said. He said, just keep it real with me. Don't let me go out there and make a fool of myself. And of course, I'm one of those trainers that I've already told fighters before that it's time for you to hang them up. And they were guys that who actually were a lot younger than Derrick, and plus, they were guys that basically they had a name, but really couldn't cut it no more. And basically, I don't have a problem with telling the fighter that it's over with. It's over with. I mean, I can't tell you to quit, but I can tell you that I'm no longer going to be a part of it. And most fighters that I have a tendency to work with, I become friends with them, because actually I want to know what makes that fighter tick. I want to know what's going on inside that fighter's head, and then sometimes even what's going on at home, because a lot of times you gotta actually become a friend to a fighter to actually get to know a fighter, and like Derrick said, I mean, he has a family to take care of, and boxing, boxing can be a brutal sport, but I mean, he's been to the mountaintop, so he knows what it takes to get there again. And hopefully that's what our goal is. Our goal is to, at least win a world title and, then hopefully go out on top.
So let me ask you this, Derrick, then, you've been out of the spotlight for a while. How far away do you think you are, if you have the best success in each fight, how far do you think you're away from getting a shot like that? And give us your plan as far as how long you think you want to keep fighting and each step along the way, what you think you're going to do.
Well, what I've done, December 6th, I'm going to fight for one of the vacant WBC Intercontinental titles. Then I'm going to fight again January 31st, and I'm going to defend that title. I know I'm going to win. I'm going to defend that title. And then I think in 2013, it's going to be a very key year for me as far as I'm going to eventually either fight for a spot to fight, the right to fight for the title or fight for the title. I don't think my step in my process is going to be a little bit faster than a guy who's just coming up. I'm a former champion, so it won't take me as long. I just need to get some fights in. Pretty much, I've talked to every organization recently, and basically they just wanted me to get a fight in, because I sat out for 2 years, and I did that already. So this next fight, like I said, is for one of the vacant WBC Intercontinental titles, and that will put me in the rankings right there, and then I'm going to defend it. That's going to move me up a little bit faster. And they have a guy who has a WBC title. I want to say it's a silver title, WBC silver title. I'm going to try to petition them for me to fight him. I don't know him, and I really don't care. I just know I feel great, and I want to fight anybody out there. I don't have time to waste. So whatever step I have to take, if I have to fight once a month, I'm going to fight once a month. I'm going to make some noise, and I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to stay in shape. See, I realize at this stage here, every move has to be very precise. I have to stay in shape, stay ready. I can't let my body just go out of shape. I can't do that anymore. I have to, every time you see me now, I'm gonna be in shape. I can't take no chances. You know what I'm saying? So I know what I'm facing. My maturity level is so much better. I understand the game. I know what I need to do. I just need to do it. And the thing that I wanted to do more than anything, and I did it the other night, was just let my hands go. Be aggressive and throw more punches. And in doing so, I think everything will open up for me.
All right. So give us your, the ultimate finish to your career. How does it end for you? Your dreams?
my thing is to go out as world champion. I'm going to fight at 35. I'm going to win the title at 35. I want to win the title at 40. And then, go out on top, retire, go into sunset go out as world champion. That's my plan. That's what I want to do. So
you don't want to just win and retire. You want to win it and win another one as well.
Oh yeah. I'm not coming back for one title. You kidding me? Who does that? I just told you I came from 190 pounds, man. In April when I came to Vegas, I was 190 pounds. You understand what I'm saying? This April I was 190 pounds, man. So for me to drop all that weight, you think I'm dropping all this weight to fight for the title at one time? Come on, man. I'm not in it for that, man. This is so for real. I trust me. I don't like to fly. I'm not flying way out of the train with Jeff, man, just to win the title one time. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
no,
Jeff,
man, I got to do it.
Right. Now, Jeff, unfortunately, you didn't get to corner him in the last fight because you went the first time and there was a hurricane or whatever, and then the second time there was problems with the opponent. So Jeff, tell us about that. I mean, how unfortunate was it that you weren't able to be in the corner, and do you think that at all hinders you going forward with him in his next fight?
No. Because I understand the situation. There's no lack of communication between me and Derrick, and, I was already informed on what happened, so it wasn't a big deal. And plus, I know that, the opposition that was put in front of him, the last time, he didn't necessarily need me, to be there. But, of course, when we start stepping up in class, of course he's going to need, to work with me and, and basically, and that's the case. It's just not, and it was unfortunate. It's just an unfortunate situation that happened, So, like I said, he was able to keep the ball rolling and, and keep his career alive, and we're going to keep on, doing what we got to do until we get to where we need to be.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's right. We're in church right now.
That's right. That's what we're going to do, baby.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
Elliot, you got some other stuff?
Yeah. Hey, Derrick, how many more years do you want to keep fighting?
It just depends, 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years. Five will be on the high, but 3 years, again, my process and what I have to do is getting to that next level. It's not going to take me as long as it would take just a regular contender. Most of the time when you're a former champion, you can petition, and some of these people, if my last name was Klitschko, I'll be champion. I'll come out of retirement as champion. You know what I'm saying? So, I need to take a couple fights before I get to that point. But I think I'll be all right. And I think within 2013 I'll be champion, and then I'll defend the title, and then within 3 to 5 years, me and Jeff, we're gonna chill out. I'm gonna chill out. I'm just gonna go and visit Jeff. No more fighting.
We're gonna smoke some weed.
Oh, no. No, I ain't gonna never do that. I can't do that, man. Oh, Lord.
Jeff just started doing that the other day, and he won't stop it. He's been stoned for 3 days straight now.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness. Man, you ain't want to talk good, man. Oh, that's crazy. No, I ain't gonna be able to do that, man. That's okay. If I did that, I would make 140, man. I could make my weight, man.
You be snacking too much, right?
Yeah, I'm sure, man. I'm sure. That's crazy.
It ain't the weed. It ain't the weed. It's the wing.
Oh my goodness! I ain't gonna eat some wings. After that, we eat a lot of wings.
I don't know if you know it, Derrick, but Jeff turned into a big pothead since the last time you were here, so you need to be careful.
Oh no, not Jeff. Not Jeff. No, I'm not buying that one.
You just heard that. You just heard the bags ruffling in the background, right? That was a Dorito. See, he just.
Oh my goodness.
He's been snacking.
That's crazy.
And Derrick, 2013, you want to fight for a world title?
Yes.
Can you throw some names out there of a few boxers that you would like to step in the ring with?
Man, I fight anybody. You look at my record. I've never turned down a fight. I turn down my collar. That's it. I don't turn down fights, man. I fight whoever has the title. Whoever has the title, I will fight them. It doesn't matter to me. You know, there's a lot of good fights out there. There's a very interesting fight that's going to take place in November. Broner and DeMarcus, I think his name is. That's a very interesting fight. Then you have the guy with the WBA. He's fighting. I want to say the guy Sharif, I think his name is. I think he's fighting for a title, a vacant title. So it's there are a lot of interesting fights out there, 135 and 140. So I don't mind. I fight anybody, man. Fighters, we fight anybody. We don't turn down fights, man. We don't believe in that.
You need to get with him on Celestino. You know, your once a month fight pattern there would be something we can get Celestino doing. He's having all kinds of trouble getting fights there for himself. So, unfortunately, he's in kind of the same situation. You know, he's getting up there, but he just can't get a fight. So he's been inactive for quite a while. So
trust me, as featherweight champ, I can relate. I had one guy that mentioned my name as featherweight champion, so I can understand that. You know, but what he might want to do is what I don't mind doing right now to just get going. Just take fights, just fight, because the thing about it for me, being inactive and not fighting, it hurts you more than anything. Especially I'm able to be sharp, by taking fights. So, going back to training and right back for this fight in December, I mean, it felt like I just, I feel great. I wasn't hurt or sore or anything like that. I just feel great, man. So I think I perform better as long as I'm staying active.
I know it's a little late out there in Florida, so before we let you go, though, one more thing. Jeff's a great storyteller. Unfortunately, he never tells the stories on the radio here. So, you got any good story or anything interesting that happened between you guys in the past you want to share with us?
Man, no, man. No, the only thing that was crazy was his phone going off like that. That was it, man. His phone, all the text messages. His phone went dead from all the text messages. And he snores real loud when he's driving in the car. He went to sleep on me and he snores real loud. That was it pretty much.
Well, now we know the texts are probably all from his dealers apparently, and the ladies.
You're right about that.
Give me the keys, baby. Give me the phone of the keys.
You're right about that.
All right, Jeff, what about you? Anything fun and interesting as far as working with Derrick?
Well, I mean, me and Derrick is competitive, in our even in our training. We're competitive. Of course, my job is to try to tighten up his defense any way I can, and of course, you know how I do that. And basically, his challenges also is to to make me miss. And and also so I mean it's just an ongoing challenge all the time, but I mean it's fun and spirited.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, well, really appreciate you taking the time with us, Derrick. It sounds like you got everything mapped out, and it's commendable because, like I said, you've been pretty inactive for the last few years. So to come back at 40 years old, and looking to make your mark again, that's really impressive. And working with Jeff, if anybody can help you do it, it's him. Tell the folks, where they can keep up with you. You got Twitter, Facebook, that kind of thing.
I do. I'm on Facebook and I'm on Twitter also. It's my name, Derrick Smoke. Go ahead.
I was gonna say your Twitter though. You got that block on it, so you got to get approved by you, right?
I don't know how to take that off. I wish you could tell me how to take that off.
Well, you can't do. Well, I know. One of our people, Elaine, that works with us, she had the same problem. If you're using it on your phone, you can't do it there. Apparently, it's got to be on your desktop computer.
On my desktop. I have my laptop. So just log in on my laptop and try it?
Yeah, log in your laptop and go to the settings and then, knock it off of private there. Because I tried to add you yesterday, and it said I had to get approval there from you.
Yes. I had a lot of people that that emailed me and told me the same thing. So I need to do that. Because I tried to do it on my phone. You're right. It wouldn't let me do it. So on Twitter, I'm Smoke Gainer. On Twitter, I'm going to take the block off. And then on my Facebook, it's just Derrick Smoke Gainer.
All right. And then anything else you want to, tell people who are following you, a message for anybody?
No, man, just everybody tune in. I'll be fighting December 6th against a undefeated fighter from Houston. The fight will be a Ustream fight, Ustream /Fight Camp TV. And I'm coming back, baby. That's it. I appreciate the support, all my fans. Thank you guys for having me. Jeff, I'll see you soon. I'm gonna take your ribs up when I see you, man.
Just don't be near him anytime you're gonna be testing for anything. You don't want any of the fumes to get to you.
Oh man, no, my man, I ain't worried about that. I'm not worried about that. Thank y'all, man.
Ellie, do you have anything for Derrick before he goes?
Derrick, I wish you the best on your next fight. We'll be watching, and hopefully we can get you back on the show. And thanks a lot.
All right, man. Thanks for having me, man. I'll most definitely come back.
Yeah, we'll get you back after your next victory there in December. And yeah, thanks again. I really appreciate having you on, and best of luck to you. It's great to see you back in there. I know you have a lot of fans that have missed you over the last several years, so best of luck to you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
All right, Jeff. I'm gonna let you send him out again. So I'll let you do with Larry Holmes. You can send out Derrick there.
You ready?
I'm ready. Go ahead. Oh.
Why? What?
That's all he gets.
That's it? Yes. Why is that it? Oh, my stomach hurts.
You see what I have to work with here, Derrick? This is terrible.
Man, that's horrible, man. Man, later, man.
Yeah, you can tell someone else, this is one of your guys. You're just going to say bye. You're not going to.
Oh, that's my signature.
Man, later, man. I'll talk to y'all later, okay. Man. Later.
Right. Appreciate it, Derrick. Take care. All right, so that was Derrick Gainer, former and hopefully future champion. Great of him to join us. And earlier, obviously, we had the legendary Larry Holmes. Thanks so much to him. He had the days confused. He actually thought he was coming on yesterday, so he even took a time off from watching the debate. So we really appreciate having him on. Elliot, thanks for joining us. Tell the folks where they can follow you and what you got going on.
Yeah, if anyone wants to follow me, keep up with some boxing news for Pro Boxing Insider, follow me at Vicious Vasquez. And on Facebook is just my name, Ellie Vasquez Torres. And if anybody wants to check out my blog and comment, I always return all my comments. It's simply the boxingpost.wordpress.com. And thank you.
I appreciate having you. And then I'll do the honors for you, Jeff, since you'll just say bye. You can follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff Mayweather 1. And, follow us both on our Facebook page. It's Jeff Mayweather's Pro Boxing Insider, so follow us there. Jeff, just last thoughts on the night, and Derrick or Larry, anything you want to add? Bye.
That's it, man.
All right, we'll just leave it at that. Thanks so much, everybody, and every Tuesday night, 7 o'clock Central, will be on. Thanks to ATG Radio, just moved over there. Last week was our first week, so thanks so much to them for allowing us to be on their network. And we will see everybody next week. Thanks a lot.
I'll see you next week.
One more time, Jeff.
Bye.